Hey, Roschon, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. We were just talking to Scott up here, and they were talking about what high grades they had on you character-wise. In the age of NIL, you could have left and gone a lot of different places the last couple of years. Why didn't you? And do you think that says something about the way you're wired?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my motive wasn't really for like money. It was really just kind of just ask God what He wanted me to do, and then how He wanted me to, just go about my situation at Texas. So, yeah, I think that kind of drove me to, stay and also try to win championships at Texas.
Courtney Cronin.
Hey, Roschon, congratulations. They were talking kind of about you just with the role that you accepted with Bijan Robinson taking a lot of the spotlight and a lot of probably the reps at running back. How did you find yourself in the position of being comfortable accepting whatever role was going to be yours in transitioning from quarterback to running back?
Yeah, I never really view myself as like a backup. So, I mean, regardless of who was getting the majority of the carries, I tried to, prepare and maintain myself as if I was a starter. So, yeah, I didn't really let the perspective of me being a backup kind of, have an effect on me. I just kind of, took it day by day and tried to increase the role on the team, whether that was on special teams or behind Bijan or at running back, if that. So, yeah, I just kind of flipped my perspective, and I think it paid off.
How do you describe your abilities in pass protection? Is that something that, is a big part of your game?
Yeah, definitely being able to protect and identify what's coming at me and, just kind of knowing what's going to happen before it happens. I think that definitely helps me be able to just play faster and be able to, just be able to protect. So,
Colleen Kane.
Hi, Roschon, they talk so much about your leadership and kind of work ethic. I was just wondering kind of where that comes from in your background and what kind of a leader you are, I guess.
Yeah, I think, I think it just comes from my passion for the game, honestly. Just being able to, being able to enjoy the game, just kind of knowing what to expect from it, and just knowing like what it takes to win. I think it just kind of drives me, just my passion and love for the game. So I just kind of express it in ways that I feel most comfortable. So yeah, I think it's kind of where it stems from.
Dan Weeder.
Roschon, welcome to Chicago. I'm curious if you could walk us through your journey of transitioning from quarterback and sort of the challenges of that, your initial acceptance of that, and just making that leap from quarterback to running back.
Yeah, yeah, it was definitely something that I had to like kind of get used to physically. It was definitely something that I think mentally it wasn't really that big of a challenge. It's quarterback, you having to know pretty much all 11 guys and their responsibilities. I think it simplified a lot of things and made it a lot easier for me to, just go out there and just be able to play with my mind, but just train my body for certain things. So yeah, I think it was more so a physical curve than a mental curve.
What are some of those physical, transitions that you went through, or maybe you're still going through?
Yeah, I mean, just little minute details within the game, whether that's running with pad level or, just using your body as a weapon, or just making certain cuts fluently, or, just not tensing up before contact, and certain things like that. So yeah, it definitely helped. Just get more reps at it.
Sorry. Kevin Fishbane.
Hey, Roschon, congratulations. We heard and read about your special teams value. Just curious what you like about special teams and how much pride you take in that part of your game.
Yeah. I think special teams is one thing that I think special teams is really just something you can contribute with. And it's a very, very important aspect of the game that a lot of people don't really take into account. So I think it's just kind of fun to be on kickoff, being able to, run past somebody or run somebody over, just go make a tackle. But me playing offensive is something I don't really get to do. So I think it's kind of cool that you can kind of do both regardless of what you play.
Alex Shapiro.
Hey, Roschon, congrats. We saw you doing a pre-draft workout with David Walker in the months leading up to the draft. Can you take us through that day and then tell us about your impressions about the Bears from that workout?
Yeah. So that was my pro day. Yeah, I mean, it was really, coach was just trying to, just see how I moved and kind of take me through some change of direction drills and kind of got me firing from that aspect. So, yeah, it was a pretty smooth workout. I think it was a lot of, and beyond that, we did some board work as well. So, yeah, I mean, it was fun. I mean, it was just cool to kind of see how he, orchestrated his drills just to, display change of direction and stuff like that. So.
Pat Finley.
Well, what special teams did you play this year?
I played all of them.
All of them? The mentality there, is that something that you think translates well to the NFL?
Yeah, definitely. We had a great special teams coach, Coach Banks at Texas. He knows all about the league and how important special teams is from that standpoint. So we conducted our practices a lot, very similar to how you would in the league. So, yeah, I mean, he's done a great job with me and just kind of, coaching me up along the way.
Two more. Dan Weeder.
Roschon, individually, is there a play or a game that you kind of reflect on from your college career as a signature moment for you?
Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, I would say this past year's OU game was definitely one that was very memorable. I mean, something that I'll probably look back on for the rest of my life. So that one was probably a special one for sure.
Last question, Alex Shapiro.
Hey, Roschon, obviously this is all very new to you, but I was wondering, do you know anything about Khalil Herbert? And if so, do you have any idea of how you might be able to complement him in the backfield?
Yeah, no, I'm not too familiar with him. I haven't watched a whole lot of his game. So, I'm pretty sure these next couple of weeks we'll get to know each other and just kind of work and help each other better, get better. So, yeah, I gotta do more research on him, but so involved in this this process has been taking a toll.
Last question, Dan Weeder.
Roschon, I was wondering if you could kind of describe the relationship you've had with Bijan and just kind of the benefits of having been together there at Texas.
Yeah, me and Bijan have definitely helped each other work. And just, grow with each other along the years, just kind of learn from each other and competed as well. So, yeah, it's definitely a guy that he'll tell you how, we just help each other grow, not just on the field, but off the field as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Roschon. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, Tyler, congrats on joining the Bears. Just wondering what accounted for you having a breakout season last year?
Yeah, I think, I think it started from, my first 2 years being in Cincinnati. I came in as, I played running back in high school. And then from there, I went to Cincinnati and that was the first time I actually, played receiver. And, I told myself if I can, if I just go in and, humble myself, I can only be exalted. And if I go in and exalt myself, I can only be humble and, humble. And so humble myself and you just continue to put my head down and work. Took coaching, was able to be coachable and, through the help of, Mike Brown, my receiver coach at Cincinnati, I was able to continue to progress each year. And so, first year didn't play too much. I played all 10 games, but was in there for, just run game, things of that nature. And then, year two, I earned a starting position, on the championship, run team, going to the college football playoffs was, a key piece on the team. And, I had so many great players around me, Desmond Ridder, Alec Pierce, Jerome Ford, Josh Wiley, Leonard Taylor, a great group of guys around me. And so I kind of just took a step back and realized what was going on around me and realized that it may not have been my time yet to be that number one guy. And so for me, it was, just being a reliable target. It was times where I would have my sophomore year, 1 catch, 1 touchdown, and that was all that was called for, for me. And so, my job was to make a huge impact on special teams, which, I did. And then going into my third year, we lost a lot of guys to the draft and, it was time for somebody to step up. And so I remember telling my coach, I feel like I was the number one receiver on the team. And, I feel like I was the go-to guy. And so going to that, to that year, my last year, was just continue to work and prepare and prepare myself to, be that number one guy. And so I was able to accept that challenge and, make the best of it.
Brittany Cronin.
Hey, Tyler, you were in the Junior Olympics, is that right? As a sprinter?
Yes. Yep.
How'd you get involved with that?
Yeah, so it started when I was about 5-6 years old, and my dad, he was a track coach. He coached shot put and discus, but he was part of the staff, and so he just got me out there running around, competing, and I loved it. Just continued to run, and I think when I got to the age of 8 or 9, I actually qualified for the Junior Olympics, and my race growing up was the 400 meter dash. I also qualified in 100 and 200, but my money race was the 400. And so was able to qualify, went down to, at the time it was Iowa, and, competed, and, I was ranked 4th in the nation. I ended up, getting 4th in the nation in the 400 meter dash, and, continued to run, each year. I was a great long jumper as well, a triple jumper, and just continued to run, all through my elementary and middle school career. And so, just helped me so much through, through and then on to football.
Dan Weeder.
Hey, Tyler, welcome to Chicago. I'm curious what last night was like for you. Were you expecting to go last night, and how did you kind of handle the last 20 hours or so?
Yeah, definitely was expected to go a little bit earlier than I was today. And like I said, we just continued to talk to, my agent and, also my brother, Trey Tucker, who got taken by the Raiders last night, at the end of the third. And so, just being patient, just continue to wait. You get anxious, you get nervous, and, you just, like I said, you just want to hear your name called. You want to get that phone call. But, at the end of the day, you just got to be patient. And, at the end of the day, somebody called my phone and gave me an opportunity to perform my talents. And so, yeah, like I said, a little disappointed that, I wasn't able to go earlier. But at the end of the day, I just, I need to get my foot in the door and, prove that I can play at the next level, have an impact.
What are your initial feelings about the offense and the quarterback that you're joining?
Yeah, explosive. I remember, watching, Justin Fields. Like I grew up an Ohio State fan. And so I always kept an eye out on the Ohio State Buckeyes growing up, because that's, one team that you dream of playing for, growing up. So, definitely always, had an eye on him, and, just remember watching how good he was, at Ohio State, and then transitioning into the NFL. He had a great year last year. And he's just showing to just be a playmaker, a guy that's just doing whatever it takes to win, whether that's throwing, whether that's running, or, whatever it is he's got to do to win. Just being a part of that offense is going to be fun. They have, a lot of great receivers on, on the staff as well, on the team as well. And so, like I said, just ready to get in and put my foot in the door and be a part.
Alex Shapiro.
Hey, Tyler, congrats. It seems like with only a couple of years at the position, it would be pretty hard to earn some significant reps and, to produce at that position. So I'm wondering, what was it about you that allowed you to pick up that position so quickly? Or was there anything that helped you to make that transition so quickly?
Yeah, I think just, just being a football player, at the end of the day, I think that's another skill that, that separates the goods from the greats, just being able to adapt to each situation that you're thrown at. I played receiver or played running back from when I was 8 all the way through up, and, through high school. And then, as soon as I, came over and played receiver at Cincinnati, at the end of the day, it was just love for the game, loving the game. And, just being able to adapt to each situation, because that's, what the game is about. It's about just adapting. You come in with a plan to do certain things, and it's a team that makes the best adjustments and ends up winning the game. And so, same thing, when it's on the field, whether it's a different position or whatever, it's just, got to, at the end of the day, got to adjust and, attack whatever's thrown at you. And so, like I said, I love the game of football. And so, like I said, I didn't really watch receivers growing up too much, because like I said, I was in the running backs. But I dove into receivers. I dove into the art of a receiver, and I wanted to be a great receiver. And so I did the things that, it took necessary to be a very good receiver.
Sean Hammond.
Hey, Tyler, congrats, man. I saw you tweeted out a minute ago that the Bears are exactly who you wanted to select you. I'm just curious why you felt so strongly about the Bears throughout this process.
Yeah, it's just a great history. It's a great history. It's a great, just a great line of players, that come through, Chicago. You have, Mike Dicker, you think of Walter Payton and Gale Sayers. I love Gale Sayers. Growing up, I love watching his film. Like I said, then you got Walter Payton and you got Dick Buckers, who's my dad's favorite player. I think I was one of the first players my dad put on for me. And then through down the line, you got the 85 Bears defense. Everybody says my dad looks like Mike Singletary. And I literally, when we're in line at places, some people come up to and ask like, hey, I just got to ask, are you Mike Singletary? So like I said, just the history of, just the Chicago Bears and just how great they've been, a tradition. I just wanted to be a part of something great like that. And, just a great area to be. And, just like I said, just want to be a part of a winning tradition.
Do you think he looks like him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, now that I look at, so I'm a sports card collector. I love collecting sports cards. And so, I got Mike Singletary's rookie card. And I end up looking at it and I'm like, okay, that definitely does look like my dad. And then, I start looking up some pictures. I'm like, okay, I see where they get it. He definitely does look like him. I'm not going to lie.
Mark Potash.
Hey, Tyler. Sprint speed doesn't always translate to football production. How have you used your speed or developed your speed as a weapon in football? And how much has route running helped in kind of enhancing that and developing that to become, a productive player with speed?
Yeah, I mean, just because you have speed, that doesn't make you, a deep threat, or it doesn't make you, great at running routes. It's, knowing when to use it, I think is, a key point. Knowing how to set people up, just having people feel your speed. Sometimes, whether it's a run play going the other way, sometimes I like to just run off the ball and basically race the DB, or just let him feel my speed, so he just kind of knows what's going on and the type of pressure that's going on in the game. And so from there, it's just knowing when to use it and how to use it, and then knowing where to find the blind spots. And like I said, I give a lot of credit to my receivers coach from, Cincinnati and Mike Brown for, helping me develop those type of traits and those type of things, and, really helping me use my eyes. Because like I said, it's great to have speed, but at the end of the day, you have to learn how to get in and out of your cuts efficiently. You got to learn how to, read defenses. You got to learn how to get into the blind spots, learn how to set up the DB. You have to be a really good actor, when you're playing receiver, So, like I said, I just give a lot of credit to Coach Brown, and, speed is, like I said, my number one thing. Thing that pops off a film, but, I always like to, stress, it's not just that, but just how I get open as well.
Thank you.
One more, Alex Shapiro.
Hey, Tyler, given that you only have 3 years at the position, what do you think your upside is? Like, how much more is inside you that you think you can continue to grow and continue to show?
Yeah, I mean, I hear, quite a bit through this process, me being a raw receiver, basically just somebody who, basically on film is just someone who's just, not necessarily the most technical, but someone who's still learning the position. And, for me, I think that, for me, that's a positive as well. Knowing that, I still have a lot to learn and a lot to, improve, and, so many things, just to improve on. And so, just my ceiling, I mean, I can't even put a statistic or a number or an accomplishment on it. Because at the end of the day, whatever I do, something my dad always told me is just to be the best at it. And so at the end of the day, I just want to be the best at what I do, and just want to have a hand in helping the team win a championship. So, like I said, as far as just, my abilities and how high I can go, the sky's the limit, cliche, but I mean, it really is. The sky's the limit on, what I can do. And like I said, I'm just ready to get to work, and, I'm excited.
Last question, Dan Reeder.
Tyler, who were the running backs you studied when you were still playing that position, and then who are some of the receivers you've gravitated towards in the last few years?
It was so many. I mentioned Gale Sayers. Gale Sayers, is old school, but I just loved his running style. It was just so elusive, so fluid. The way he's seen things, it was just kind of like things were just obstacles to him. He just learned how to elude obstacles, and just how fluid he was, And so I love watching some of the older school running backs, Gale Sayers. I love, Barry Sanders, how he was able to make guys move and, get them to think one thing and do another. I loved Eric Dickerson. I had a lot of comparisons to him, when I was playing running back, just kind of with my upright kind of track style of running. I had a lot of comparisons to him. I also loved Reggie Bush, had a huge fat head of him in my room. Love Reggie Bush. And then on top of that, I loved Adrian Peterson. He's probably the last great running back that I really love to watch and I really idolized was definitely him. I just loved his power, his explosiveness. I remember watching every game of that 2012 season when he came back from his knee injury. So those are a couple of guys that I loved. And then, today transitioned to receiver. I love Devontae Adams. I love his game, just how he takes, basically he puts basketball onto the football field. He basically just plays basketball at the line of scrimmage with guys. And then after that, he's just such a great route technician and just the way he gets open and the way he just uses his eyes and uses his feel for a defense. I love Terry McLaurin. I think he's just underrated with, maybe just a lack of, consistent quarterback play, but I think he's just a dog and, and just the way he carries himself, just the way he plays. And then I also love Hollywood Brown. He's kind of my comp, and also Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's probably just been my comp through this whole process. Somebody who, like I said, more of an undersized guy, but somebody who knows how to feel the zones, get open, knows what the defense is doing, makes some great over the head catches. One of the best to ever do it when it comes to just catching the ball. Difficult catches. So love those guys, and those are some of the guys I love to watch.
Thank you, man. Congrats.
I appreciate
Awesome.
it.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Thank you.